Good morning. This morning I finished reading Seymour, An Introduction by J.D. Salinger. And I loved every minute of it, reading this thing. It's a story of the Glass family, which is a theme in a lot of Salinger's work. And the narrator is Buddy, and he's just telling you about his brother Seymour. And I read this because I had just finished A Good Day for the Banana Fish, and just wanted to read more for a variety of reasons. The story, the short story, ends with a somewhat of a cliffhanger, and also it's such a fantastically put together short story that just for appreciating good writing, I wanted to read more. And I'll talk about what happened in A Good Day for the Banana Fish, and if someone hasn't read it and wants to and doesn't want to have the surprises taken away from you, I would recommend not watching this because I'm going to talk about it. And in that story, Seymour has sort of a funny little conversation with a young girl at the beach. They go in the water and play. He goes back up into his hotel room, sits on the bed, takes out a gun, and shoots himself in the head. The end. So now Seymour's committed suicide, and Buddy, his brother, wrote out this, I don't even want to call it a story, but this tract. And I was reading, my motivation for reading it was I wanted to know why Seymour committed suicide. And after reading it, I feel like I know less now than I did. I have more questions. Maybe that's the point, that you never really know why. But the reading experience is nearly unlike anything else I've read in a very long time. I cannot believe how extraordinarily well written this little story is, and I also can't believe that I didn't remember how good it was. My recollections as a teenager, reading Holden Caulfield and thinking at the time, this is my favorite book and I love Holden Caulfield, and then going off to read the other stories and finding myself disappointed that they're a totally different style. The only thing I remember really enjoying at the time was Franny. I loved Franny, but didn't like Zoe. A lot of the short stories are weird. Almost didn't remember anything about Raised High the Roof Carpenters, that kind of thing. So it's one of the, I love growing up and thinking about things like this, being a more experienced reader, having more life experiences, and just knowing more. I have such a different impression reading it now than I did then. At this point, it's my favorite thing I've read by Salinger. It's the narrator is sitting at a typewriter and he's typing this, and he's self-referential, neurotic. It's very meta. He's talking about what he's writing, and he's making corrections, saying what I just said in that paragraph might not have been right. He tells you when he gets up from his desk and sits back down, and you have this voice that comes across that has all the clickings of a typewriter. It sounds like it was typed. It doesn't sound like it was written on a laptop or written with a pencil or a quill. This is a typed work, and all of that comes across somehow. Andy's looking at me because I just made a funny noise. Um, and stylistically, the nearly every sentence is just ingenious and creative and unexpected, and it almost feels like it's this rambling work that just kind of blows out, and at the same time it's something that's like masterfully constructed and is like tight and snappy. um, there's parts of me that are kind of reminded of at least the same experience I have reading Marcel Proust. um, it's something that's very long and rambling and also incredibly enjoyable. um, I wish I learned more reading it. I feel like, as far as learning the motivations of Seymour's suicide, I either know less now than I did then, or uh, I feel unsatisfied in that respect. And maybe that's the point. You never really know why someone decides to end their life. And also, like, all of the mystery surrounding Salinger comes up inside of me. Like, I was thinking while I was reading A Good Day in the A Good Day for Banana Fish, whether or not the Seymour character was actually Holden Caulfield. He was unnamed, and I was it just crossed my mind. And then in this book, the narrator mentions that he had written a short story that people thought might have been another character. So I was like reading it, going like, is Seymour Holden Caulfield? Then thinking like, well, wait a minute, maybe the narrator is Holden Caulfield, or maybe J.D. Salinger is Holden Caulfield. I'm reading it, and all of a sudden, I want somebody to be Holden Caulfield for some reason. And also that disappointment that just hits you when you realize that Salinger stopped writing. In this book, he's clicking away at his typewriter, saying that he writes for you to read. He loves readers, and he wants people to enjoy his work. And then he stopped publishing. I know that they say that he kept writing for the rest of his life. I believe that that's true. I don't know it. He's dead now. I've heard that his family said they're going to be publishing more work, and it's been a couple years now, and there's still nothing that I know of. And it's so good that I want to read more. I want to read something. I mean, I'm going to go back and read a bunch of these Salinger things, but there's something out there. There's this dragon of Salinger work floating somewhere on this earth. There's a box of papers that I want to get my hands on. So I feel like this review is just as rambling as the short story, but not as well said. I'll end it there, I guess. I really loved it. Maybe I'll read Raise High the Roof Beam Carpenters. I read the second part first. And I think that's it. Leave a comment if you would like. Thank you for watching. Bye.